What you are about to hear are not just stories. These are documented accounts from people who still cannot explain what they witnessed in the dead of night. They are chilling, real, and deeply unsettling. By the end of this video, the darkness will feel different. You will never look at the flickering shadows in your room the same way again. Lock your doors and listen closely. We begin with a memory that haunts a remote road. First, the night shift. I worked at a remote gas station on the edge of town. It was 2:30 a.m., and the silence was heavy, pressing against the windows. Suddenly, a man walked through the sliding glass doors. He did not buy anything. He just stood by the counter, eyes fixed on me, unblinking and void of life. My skin crawled as I asked if he needed help. He didn't speak at first. Then, he slowly raised a trembling finger, pointed directly behind my shoulder, and whispered, "He is right there." My blood turned to ice. I checked the reflection in the glass behind the register. The store was completely empty. When I turned back to face him, the man was gone. The sensors on the door never chirped. The pavement outside was deserted under the flickering streetlights. Then, the monitor for the security cameras flickered and died, leaving me in total darkness. Second, the voice in the room. When I was 12, I started hearing my name whispered in the dark. It was faint, a soft breath against the silence. At first, I assumed it was my mother calling from downstairs. I would call back, "I'm coming," but silence was my only answer. One night, the air felt freezing, like a tomb. I climbed out of bed and crept into the hallway. Suddenly, a voice whispered right against my ear, hot and terrifying, "Don't turn around." I didn't wait. I sprinted to my room and slammed the lock shut, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The next morning, I asked my mother why she called my name. She turned pale, her voice trembling as she said, "I thought it was you calling me from your room all night." Third, the empty apartment. I moved into a top-floor unit last year, hoping for peace. The first night, at exactly 3 a.m., I woke to the sound of dragging footsteps on the ceiling. It sounded like heavy boots scraping across old floorboards. Scritch, scratch. I grabbed a flashlight, my hands shaking, and checked every corner of my apartment, but there was nothing. The dragging sound continued, pacing back and forth above my head, heavy and rhythmic. The next day, I confronted the landlord. He went silent, avoided my gaze, and finally muttered, "No one has lived in the attic space above you for over 10 years. We keep it bolted shut." My heart sank. Some things simply cannot be explained by logic. Tonight, if you hear a sound in the dark or a floorboard creak when you are alone, remember this. Do not turn around. Some things are better left unseen in the shadows. Sleep well, if you can.